Okay, so before I begin with this one, if you're following on episode order on Wikipedia, something's been a little switched around. So I'm going by the order they have on on the YouTube playlist that I'm watching. So in the YouTube playlist that I'm watching, episodes 14 and 16 are swapped. Episode 14 was supposed to be Interview with the Werewolf, which is now the next episode I'm going to do, which was supposed to be episode 16 was in Time and Again. So those got switched around. But this one, episode 15, Fangs for the Memories, even though you he looks like you only sweeter. Fangs for the Memories. First encounter with vampires on the show. And a couple things. One, the actor who played Alistair plays another character in this episode, a vampire, called Ruben. And the vampire character is way more played down than Alistair. He's way more subdued as this character. Actually, he's better as this character, to be honest. Not all like Alistair Black was. Also, there's some confusion on when in the timeline this takes place. One, Tommy has the original makeup from episode 1, and he'll have it again in The Exorcist later on this season. I think those were ones that were produced and made first, but they aired them in different order because at the end of the episode, I know she's disoriented, but Stacy doesn't act like she knows where the werewolf is, and there's no mention of, oh, this is the last time, or you've always, skipped out on me. It's just sort of normal-ish sort of thing. Like, I don't know. This feels like this should have been aired earlier in the season. I don't know. But it's about a group of vampires, 3 of them, who are, they invaded the Muhlenberg blood bank because the blood was stolen. Then they joining forces with Pleasantville. And Tommy gives blood, which is a no-no because it's werewolf blood. And if someone should have a transfusion of that blood, they could turn into a werewolf or die, which is a no-no. So Merton and Tommy break in to get it, but they encounter the vampires to pretend they're vampires, which only leads me to say, why doesn't Tommy just reveal as a werewolf and deal with them? But eventually has to, because they realize Merton has failed to drink any blood. Neither of them have drank any blood all night after hanging out there. And yeah. Also, they encountered the 3 guys beforehand when they were trying to hit on Stacy. Again, villains go after Stacy. That's another thing that makes me think this was written earlier on in the season, because a lot of the earlier episodes were them going after Stacy before, the time guy didn't go after Stacy, and the whole werewolf thing was hunting them. They started transitioning away from that. Now they're back to villain goes after Stacy. So, we got our first mention of Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, who will both end up being on the show, believe it or not. Their careers were that big at this point. In 99? No, not really. And it was before the 2 Coreys show came out. I think it was like 2005. I want to say, maybe even later than that. But, I mentioned, and Tommy likes Corey Haim. Merton is like me and likes Corey Feldman, but they go back and forth. Feldman, Haim, Feldman, Haim, Feldman, Haim. Yeah, talk about. They mentioned The Lost Boys. That is movie reference for this, which could be another indicator that's early one, but they kind of just jump around on movie references. They go heavily more into the other 2 seasons, but yeah, that's really weird. There's no parents. No, Hugo shows up for about a minute, I think, in this. I think. Well, yeah, because he's the one that takes Tommy's blood, because he thinks Stacy's going to take it, but it turns out to be Hugo. But Tim and Travis, donate blood and then pass out because they do the TNT rules. I have to donate 4 pints of blood each. That's too much blood, man. 4 pints. I'm not sure what the limit is, but... And it's very weird how they defeat the vampires in this, because they don't stake them. Which leads me to believe that they were trying very hard not to lean into violence. But maybe in the other 2 seasons they went a little more towards that, because you do see some staking later. In an episode, a vampire gets staked in season 2. So, yeah, you do see that. What Tommy pulls out a metal one, it's like, nah. Turns out, pulls out a wooden stake. Nah. Garlic! Shoves garlic in his face, knocks the guy into the coffin, and then they nail them into the coffin and send them back to Transylvania. That's how they defeat the vampires. Because they kidnap Stacy, so they have to save the day. And then Tommy takes her home, and she's disoriented and can't realize it's a werewolf. But if she's hearing the voice, then she should at least think it's Tommy, right? And again, it's played as if she's never seen a werewolf before, but she has seen it plenty of times before this. A couple of times at least. Time again doesn't count, and it would have come after this episode anyway, but I don't know. It's very strange. Don't think of it, the next episode, In a Row with the Werewolf, has another... Maybe they were supposed to air earlier, because it seems... I don't know, but he has his regular makeup in the next one, so it's weird. But yeah, it throws me off. I knew The Exorcist, he has different makeup, but here, I don't know. But I want to do a couple more before I go. I mean, how many have I done? Let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is 16? 15. This is 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Flugelhoff, Visible Merton, Werewolf is out there, time and again, this one. 5. Maybe I'll do one more for an even 6. I'm not going to be able to do 10 or 12. I'll do 6 today, 6 tomorrow, maybe more than 6 tomorrow. Maybe we'll go into season 2 tomorrow then, if I'm feeling not so sleepy after work. But, yeah, nothing much to say. This episode is fine. It's, again, one of those I don't go back to, and it's just, yeah. In the sense that that I know, knowing later on in season 2 and 3 when they battle vampires, it's a little more hectic. They have more fight scenes starting with season 2 and stuff, too, so it's, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's weird that they're really trying to be a little more family-friendly-ish. And, I don't know. It's just weird how they do it. But, yeah, on to the next one.